When you saw with Nancy Pelosi's visit and the rhetoric around that, it did look like they were trying to provoke something. I mean, I really liked what was happening before these provocations were happening. Relations between Taiwan and the mainland were continually improving. Flights between the two sides were increasing. Business was increasing, and then suddenly, just things started going downhill. A lot of media was put into Taiwan about what was going on. All of the same disinformation. But I think that's one of the problems with having the military-industrial complex involved so closely with the government. What were the statistics from a few years ago? It costs an average of $12 million to become a senator. And these are corporate sponsorships that come in to help them run their campaigns and things like that. This isn't charity. They want a return on that investment. And it was Eisenhower who said in his farewell speech that one of the biggest threats to American democracy was the military-industrial complex. And when you see the CEO of Raytheon going on and saying to his investors in their earnings calls, saying, we see some increased tensions in the Asia-Pacific region, and this could create a really big profit potential for us. And then these same military-industrial complex companies are funding think tanks like ASPI in Australia, Australian Strategic Policy Institute, to post China threat stories.
There's just so much of this fear from China, that is said every day in our media. And actually, there's a big story that many people aren't talking about, and that's that Tsai Ing-wen, she lost her election. And this is something that has not been mentioned one time in Western media, most specifically American media. You kind of see this rhetoric here in America where we're saying like, Taiwanese people are living in fear every day. They absolutely want independence. They absolutely need a strong relationship with America. And the reason that Tsai Ing-wen lost that election in Taiwan is because people said, you're not focusing on the real issues inside of Taiwan. You're so focused on getting closer to America. You're so focused on, for example, bringing Pelosi over here. But what about our local issues here? I think it was maybe a year ago or 18 months ago, The Economist came out and said, Taiwan, the most dangerous place in the world. Would watch some other media stories where, and these would be in Chinese, and they'd go and interview, like a noodle shop owner. And it's like, are you living every day in fear? It's like, yeah, I've been kind of hearing this for like 40 years. Like, no, I'm just going to be selling my noodles. We're living happy here. And so there's this huge disconnect that we see. And again, I think that Tsai Ing-wen lost that election because she, brought over Pelosi. And again, people were protesting outside of her hotel. Like, we don't want you here. Get out of here. Stop provoking things. We do not want you here. That would never be shown on American media.